Hey, Boo Kittens, it's me, Keisha, and I'm here with this week's All Tea, All Shade, Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, Season 6, Episode 3 review. This was another fantastic episode, so let's not hesitate. Let's get right to this recap. So we start off another episode with Lisa talking about how she's different from the other girls because she's hanging around all of these different celebrities. Does she own a club or something that I'm not aware of or don't remember? Because they were getting prepared for several celebrities to come to this venue, and she talks about how she's going to have a lunch with all the girls so she can basically come at them hoes, okay? But she's going to split it up where she's going to go skeet shooting with some of the girls, the people that she actually somewhat likes right now, and then the other girls who she ain't feeling at all are only invited to the lunch so she can go at them. Typical Lisa, quite genius, and I actually am here for all of the foolery. Bronwyn and Todd go out to eat for dinner, and she says in her confessional that he's actually working on how he speaks to her after watching himself on screen last season. If that's the case, then from what I saw in this scene, it looks like instead of just saying whatever comes to his mind, now he's just deciding to be silent and nod his head with annoyance. Because it was like everything she said, it was given very much like, but let me be the supportive husband. Like, Todd is funny to me. So she says that she feels bad that she couldn't continue to take care of her parents who were both ill at the same time. Her mother had something going on with like her brain or something like that. The father has Alzheimer's, so she had to put him in a facility, a memory care facility. Her mom, however, is staying with her, and it seems like permanently. And she thanks Todd for helping her parents out financially because he didn't want to. And when she said that, that stuck out to me because I was like, why wouldn't he want to help you out with your mom and dad? Like, that stuck in my brain when she said it. And later on in the episode, I realized why. So she tells him that she talked to Meredith about her father. I don't know if Meredith went through this same thing with hers, but, you know, they had a really good conversation about the situation. And, you know, she was very helpful and all of that. And she talks about how Lisa also came up as well. And everything that they've been going through and all of the things she said about Bronwyn and how Bronwyn has been defending herself. But Bronwyn also admits that she doesn't like when people don't like her. And Todd was basically like, I don't understand that. I wouldn't give a goddamn if she don't like me with everything that she said about you and done to you. Like, I wouldn't give a rat's ass how Lisa Barlow feels. I wouldn't want to be her friend. None of that. Like, Todd is very much me in this situation. And so later on in the episode, I realized why Bronwyn operates the way that she does with having issue with people not liking her based off her relationship with her mom. But we'll get to that in a second. And I really hope that she, throughout this experience of being on reality TV, learns to accept herself and not try to be such a people pleaser and wanting acceptance from everybody. I want her to get to a point where she accepts herself because, Bronwyn, you're not an F up. You had a blip moment in your life that should not define who you are as a person. And I feel like her family has made her feel like being a teen mom or whatever she was the worst thing that she could have ever did with herself. And that has defined who she has been since then. And it's not fair. It's really not fair. Angie visits her dad at his house, and it was so lovely to see actual homes in Salt Lake City, like normal, regular houses. And they sit down, and her dad brings out photographs that she's never seen before when he first came to America. And they talk about how the Germans invaded his village when he was only 7 and burned everybody's houses down, and how he witnessed this. and how he came to America with literally the clothes on his back. Stories like that always touch my heart, to find out how your parents or your other distant relatives, their stories and the things that they had to go through. It really enlightens you on the strength of your family and the perseverance and the things that they had to go through to make our lives easier. So that was a really beautiful moment. She got really choked up, and she just talks about how she talks to her dad. He's the first person she calls in the morning, the last person she speaks to at night, and how close they are. And I really love Angie's relationship with her dad. I really honestly do. So then we go back to Bronwyn. She's at the crib with her mama. It's just the two of them talking. And her mom talks about how it's been difficult going through her husband, Bronwyn's father's things back in California, because she doesn't know what to keep and what to throw away, because this is this man's stuff. This is the things that he's accumulated over however many years. And it's just so hard for her to be the person that has to decide what's the most important to keep and what is, not important enough to keep, to throw away. So her mama has been going back and forth to California to clean out their house so she can fully move into Bronwyn and Todd's home. They then get to talking about how Bronwyn's dad doesn't remember adult her. He just remembers teenage her, so much so that when he sees his granddaughter, Gwen, he thinks that she is Bronwyn, because that's where his mind has stuck her at that period in time. And it's so kind of messed up that it is that period in time, because that's when she got pregnant and had to, drop out of school and all of those things. And he often says to Gwen when he sees her, you got to finish school, not knowing that this is not Gwen that I'm talking to. That this is not Bronwyn that I'm talking to. I'm actually talking to Gwen, my granddaughter. Hold up, y'all. My food here. All right. So, where was I at? Bronwyn even goes on to say it's a period in her life that she's not particularly proud of, because they've made her feel like, shame about it for all this time. And she even goes on to say how she doesn't feel good enough. She admits that it took her a minute to figure life out, figure out what her next step would be. And here go her mama, who says, yeah, because you couldn't have gotten here without Todd either. You couldn't get there without a dime. You needed Todd to support you. I was like, damn, well, what a way to have faith in your child. And I was like, now I see why Todd did not want the mama and the daddy there, because of this type of verbiage that they use sort of towards their own child. They don't speak life into her. They don't encourage her. They literally, I won't say the mama literally puts her down and makes her feel like she wasn't going to be able to do or be anything without this man and his finances. And I'm like, didn't she meet him because she was working in the same field or whatever? Like, she's not a dum-dum. Like, dang, mama. Bronwyn even goes on to say in her confessional, this isn't the first snide comment my mom has made about me. I think I still really need approval from her. I would love for her to approve of me and be proud of me, but also wish that I didn't. You can put mine in the kitchen. We got the same thing. And that goes back to the whole needing approval from Lisa and other people, because she's still seeking validation from her mother, from her parents, because they've made her feel worthless, honestly, truly. So they have really messed with this lady's psyche. And it's so unfortunate, because just because she got pregnant in college, mind you, does not mean that her whole entire life has been an F up and that she wasn't going to amount to anything. Look at a person like me who was a teen mom and everything that I have accomplished. I didn't let that one thing in my life define who I was as a person and hold me back from reaching my goals. And I hate that her parents or her mother has made her feel like she has been less than because of this thing that happened when she was in college. So her mama says, I hope you're okay going through this because you're going to go through it with Todd. Ma'am, just because I'm with an old man don't mean that he gonna have Alzheimer's too. Like, excuse you? Yeah, the mama was wild. The mama was talking crazy, okay? And I'm looking at Brown like, I don't think mentally having your mama in the house with you is the right move. I don't think it's the right move at all. Put that bitch in a home. So then Angie visits Heather at her home. And she is creating an office out of her daughter's old storage room. Like, she is so happy that them heifers is up out of her house. She is ready to be a hoe. Heather is ready. She said, fuck them kids, okay? Angie lets her know that she's working on getting her Greek citizenship. And Heather congratulates her and she's like, oh my God, I'm so happy for you. Like, this is something that's really important to Angie. But Angie says that when she told her daughter Electra that she really didn't care. And they even show a clip when she told Electra. Electra says, like, you're making being Greek like your whole identity. And it really hurt Angie because this is something that she really cares about. And then especially learning her father's history and everything, I really truly do understand why this is so important to her to remain steep in their culture. You know what I'm saying? And maybe if they were to sit Electra down and tell her the importance of, being Greek and how they came to America and all of these and the hardships that her grandpa had to go through, maybe she would understand it more and not be so cavalier about the whole entire situation, because she did just like brush it off. She literally was like, I don't care. And it really hurt Angie because Angie even goes on to say in her confessional, like, I've devoted my whole life to my daughter. Like, she's my best friend. And it's becoming obvious that the older she gets, the further away she's going to, drift away from her mom and develop her own personality and her own friends. And this is what happens when mamas make their kids their whole entire life. Let's not forget she still had the little girl sleeping in the same bed with her and her husband. Like, girl, yeah, you need to find Angie. You need to find your own identity outside of being Electra's mom and being a housewife and being a beautician. So Heather says that, it hurt her feelings when Lisa said her life was different from theirs, aka my life is better than y'all's. Y'all ain't on my level, pretty much. And she says that it's almost impossible to defend her at this point. It should have been impossible for you to defend Lisa, because Lisa is not a defendable person. I don't even think it's defended. It's more so of you kissing ass. And you should have said that to her when you were sitting in front of her. Yeah, you said to her, your life isn't different from ours or whatever, but you should have really checked that if it really made you feel some type of way, like she was being uppity and pretentious and trying to look like y'all, because it's exactly what she was doing. Exactly. But Heather too pussy to say that to Lisa's face. She ain't gonna never say that to her face. So Lisa has Meredith, Heather, Mary, and the socialite Amy, who I guess is going to be a friend of this season, go skeet shooting with her, which is considered team A, because these are the people shit she can actually stomach and tolerate. Team D, however, is invited to lunch, which is everybody else, which is Brittany, who is that? Whitney, Angie, and Bronwyn. I was cracking up that her bestie, Brittany, wasn't even invited to skeet shooting. That says a lot, because Brittany, you out here thinking that y'all BFFs, and she didn't even consider you to be in the 18. Girl, you're a fool, okay? A fool. A loser, all right? So, they get to the restaurant and they walk into the private dining area, and they see poster boards up on easels that say dismiss, 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 dismiss everywhere. And these have to do with some of the lawsuits that Lisa had. Mary in her confessional says, well, I'm confused and I'm going to stay confused and I'm going to leave confused. Mary was like, what the fuck is going on here? So, they sit down at the table and Bronwyn says, like, no. Lisa says, no. Let me go back up. I lost my space. So Whitney says, what does this clarify? And Lisa says, what does this clarify? Dismiss. Like, that's what it clarifies. So Brown was like, dismiss because you paid them back or because they're fake? Lisa says, because it's none of your business, Bronwyn. So Mary was like, so it's not real? It's not real? It's fake? Mary is confused, okay? Somebody give Mary a tonic water. She is confused. So Lisa says that all of the cases have been dismissed, but we all know that they all have not been dismissed, especially the one with the man that's accusing her of borrowing this money or whatever. So Lisa was like, I'm not even a little bit worried about anything, so I don't think you should be either. And if it makes you feel good to talk about me behind my back, then that's on you. Like, that's a you thing. Because y'all are obsessed with me, okay? You ladies are obsessed with me. Because everything is about Lisa. Marsha, okay? So Angie said it got brought up because you were doing some digging behind Bronwyn's back. And Lisa was like, I didn't dig behind Bronwyn's back. They then flashed back to the reunion where she brought up speaking to this girl's jeweler about that $4 million necklace and that bracelet or whatever. You were doing digging. Like, stop, Lisa. Stop with your shenanigans. Stop with your lies. You are deflecting. You're trying to shift the conversation to other things outside of what's really going on with you. You cannot handle the fact that these girls finally got dirt on you because, baby, this whole episode was a class in Lisa Barlow spiraling out of fucking control. Okay? She was off her rockers this episode. So they get to arguing back and forth. And Lisa continued to scream and deflect and brag about her life and how it's so much better than everybody else is. And then Lisa says to Angie, what was your objective for talking about me behind my back? And Mary was like, it was everybody. It wasn't just Angie sticking up for her. Now, peep game how Mary been having Angie's back. I think this might play into why they get into it in later episodes. So Angie was like, I've watched you talk about people's businesses. And Lisa was like, thank you for the story. I'm not the one trying to be Jen Shaw. First of all, you dismissed her and basically cut her off, but you asked her a question. So it's like, do you want me to answer? Do you not want me to answer? And I love the fact that Mary pointed out that it wasn't just Angie, it was everybody, but you only addressing her. Like, if you're going to address it, address the table. But she ain't crazy enough to go against everybody. So Angie was like, you think I want to be Jen Shaw? And Lisa was like, you look like her. You got the same hair. You got the same brow girl, nail girl. Oh, baby, why did she say that? Because that was like calling her a C-U-N-T, okay? Angie rose up out of that chair. She was like, this is my hair girl from Lunatic Fringe. I've been going to my brow girl for 14 years. How dare you, Lisa? How dare you? It was like, what? It's a brow girl. Baby, Angie did not like this. She was like, you've went to her. And here go Mary tells, I went to her. I think she's great. She's great. She's like the best brow girl I've ever went to. Child. So then Brittany was like, is this the same brow girl that Jared that was talking to? Am I the only one that wants to know? Me? Yeah. And it was like, yes, Brittany, you're the only one that cares. Okay. That lady is so crazy. So the poor waitress come to the table trying to take their order. And it was like, who sent you here? Who sent you in here while they up here acting a fool? They totally ignored that little girl, po thing. So Whitney was like, if you're being accused of asking for $400,000 and we see it, read about it, hear about it, and are tagged in it, What are we supposed to think, Lisa? And Meredith was like, Whitney, there are a lot of accusations written about you. Okay. It doesn't mean that they're true, Whitney. And Whitney was like, now you pipe in. You were silent when we were camping. And Meredith was like, I wasn't silent. And Brittany jumps in, was like, I was surprised Meredith didn't speak up more. And she was like, I did. And Mary was like, you didn't speak up. You didn't stick up for your friend. You didn't. You didn't. And she was like, yes, I did, Mary. She was like, you did not stick up for your friend. And I love that Mary saw through the BS and was not going to let Meredith act like she straight up had Lisa's back. Because, yeah, you were the one to say, she's not here. Let's wait and talk about this when she get around. But that was pretty much the only thing that you had to say. Other than that, you sat there cute and on mute. But now that y'all back friends, y'all want to act like y'all are so good with each other again when y'all don't fuck with each other like that for real. You will never forgive her for the things that she said on that hot mic. And she will never forgive you for everything that you said about her. Y'all are only faking this friendship for alliance reasons because y'all need each other technically. But y'all are not friends like that. Y'all will never be back to the way it was ever, 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 ever. And I love that Mary didn't stay quiet in that moment because Meredith, you were capping. You were capping. So Meredith then turned to Lisa, was like, they're just looking to start a problem between us. Ignore it. Girl, fuck you and Lisa. Like, Meredith, stop. So Lisa was like, I believe you. And Heather kind of looked on her face like, but I just told you she didn't have your back and you believe her. What about me? Like, you could tell in her head, Heather was spiraling out of freaking control. Like, oh my God, they're back together. I'm getting pushed out. Oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. So Whitney was like, this doesn't prove anything, Lisa. And Lisa was like, how are you unwinding your business? And Brown was like, don't say anything about her business. You're deflecting. You're deflecting. And it was like, yeah, she is deflecting. But at the same time, if y'all could talk about her shit, she could talk about y'all. Okay? Point blank and the period. So then Lisa insinuates that somebody invested $10,000 into Whitney's business because that's what people on TikTok are saying. But Whitney denies it. And she was like, TikTokers and lawsuits are two different things. Like, ma'am, one is concrete, other is hearsay. And she got Lisa with that one. So Lisa was like, Whitney, you're the last person that should be talking. And Whitney was like, oh, you're scared. You're scared. She's scared, you guys. She's scared. She's shaking in her boots. So Lisa was like, I'm not scared. You've lied about me. And Whitney was like, you're lying right now. This is all a cover up for the truth. And Lisa then goes for her jewelry company and saying how it was from Alibaba and all of that stuff. And Whitney loses it. She gets up out of her chair, starts pointing in Lisa's face and throws a napkin in her face. And I was like, ooh, not you throwing napkins. And she says that she's paying off her debt because she has the money to do it. And I said, ooh, she got you with Lisa. She got you with that one, Lisa. She got you with that one. And then she stormed out the room. I feel like Whitney was being performative in that moment. I don't think that she was that triggered about it. I think that she was having a moment because she knows she got to keep her job, okay? She got to keep the money coming in. But this whole lunch was a fiasco. It did nothing to prove Lisa's case at all. If anything, it showed that she is freaking out because her business is getting out there. And after 6 seasons, this had never happened to her. And now it is. And she was freaking out. She was freaking out, okay? And it was actually hilarious to see because she has been a viper since season 3. After Jen left, Lisa literally became a viper on this show. She really thinks that she's the queen bee, that she run this show, and that she's the it girl out of the crew. Yeah, she's lost her mind. She's lost her mind. And she can't take being in the hot seat. She cannot take it. She don't like it at all. But it's like, girl, if you can't dish it out, then how about don't do it? Period. Because they coming after your ass this season. And I'm here for it. I'm here for it all. But this little fake friendship between her and Meredith, like, y'all can kick rocks with it because nobody believes it or sees it for y'all. And it's fake friendship. Okay. And I can't wait for Brittany to realize that she was on the D team. Oh, goofball head ass. But this was another great episode of Salt Lake City. I'm going to give it an A. The girls are coming in hot, and I'm loving it. Y'all let me know what y'all thought about this week's episode. Let's talk about it down below in the comment section. Please make sure to thumbs up this video, subscribe to my channel, and turn on your post notifications so you know my videos drop. I love you, T-Squad, and I'll see you guys on my next video. Bye!